Hey guys, welcome back to the It's Really Not That Deep podcast. So, if you've been here before, you will know that today things are a little different. Haley, bye Haley. We will miss you over here. Haley has decided to go on a different path that is more aligned for her. Before anyone goes crazy, me and Haley are still best friends. We don't let things like misalignment get in between a 8-year friendship, 9-year, 10-year. What did we say in the beginning? Anyway, we're still good, but this podcast is going on a different route. But yeah, you're here with me today. Lucky you. And I haven't really put much thought into like a first episode. This is really weird because it's one thing to do a podcast with someone else who is your best friend and you're like in it with someone, and it's a whole nother ballgame to do it on your ones. So we're going to see how this goes. Anyone who wants to come along on my journey, love you. So today's episode, in light of this, is about everything being temporary and how to make sense of change and make peace with change. So I'm going to tell the story of how this kind of unraveled with Haley leaving the podcast. It's very recent, so some of this is very raw. But I started having these visions of me doing this alone. Kind of just sitting here with my lights going. I didn't actually plan out what it would look like, but she told me yesterday. So this is a quick turnaround, just so everyone's on the same page. And anyway, 2 days ago, I was sitting with my legs up the wall doing my manifestations and my meditating. And I told the universe, I'm ready for a change. I'm ready for something to happen. And then the next day this happened. So not to say that it's a blessing, but I like to look at change as a blessing in disguise. I like to think of it as I'm being protected from something. And again, love Haley forever and always, nothing against her. But maybe we weren't meant to walk this path together, and that's okay. So just reframing any thoughts, any initial thoughts that you might think to that is just so beautiful. And just reminding myself that change, it just opens new doors. One door closes, another one opens. And I don't know what my highest path is. I don't know exactly what's meant for me. So why wouldn't I trust the process and trust the timing of my life? And I do believe that I'm being guided. I don't know what by. My angels, a higher power. I feel cared for on this earth and I feel protected. And so I move forward with that. And that really helps me move forward. I feel like I'm in an area of my life where a lot of changes are going on. I just started school, which I'm really enjoying so far. I think it's going to be such a beautiful opportunity to learn and grow with other people. It's an in-person program, which I'm really happy about. My dad is also moving, which is a big change. He moved out. My parents split up a couple years ago. So we were just in a temporary house that we really fell in love with. And now things are changing again, which is beautiful. And I'm excited about the new place. But of course, hardships come with change. I'm sad to be leaving this place. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like. What if relationships change? What if finances change? There's always a lot of what ifs. But again, just trusting that what is meant for me will come to me. And I like to ask the universe to show me how good it can get. And you don't get better in your comfort zone. So let's go change. Also, I got broken up with 7 months ago. And at the time I was devastated. And I was like, this was the person I thought I was going to marry. I have to refigure out my whole life, which was the truth. I did kind of have to refigure out my whole life. I had put a lot on that relationship and him. But how beautiful was it that I got to rediscover myself because he left me. Otherwise, I don't know if I would have rediscovered myself. And I love myself. And I love the life that I'm building for myself. Growth only happens outside of your comfort zone. So back to this podcast. Love the podcast. And Haley leaving, that is a change. That is a big change. I have to restart. I could either stop, because she stopped, which I thought about and am still thinking about, honestly. Or I can continue along the process and keep going, which I think is what I'm going to do because I had intentions with this in the beginning and those haven't changed. I love this. I love forcing myself to get internal and deep, and I love sharing it. I love promoting authenticity and practicing what I preach. And this podcast is just such a beautiful outlet to allow me to do that and allow me to let people know me better. So if anyone is watching, I don't know. If you are, I love you. I appreciate you for being here. So now that we've talked about my experience, I always like to break it down with the psychology because I go to therapy and I study psychology. So I understand these things, a lot of them intuitively, but I also understand that it's not mainstream education. So I like to teach it. So let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is attachment and why it makes change feel so hard. So humans are wired to form attachments. We love attachments. We love being in relationships. We love being tied to something, whether that's a person, a place, an identity. It creates a stability and a predictability that we as humans like. And our brains get used to it, and our brains love it. It releases good chemicals. It is good. It's great. So change threatens that stability. And when something shifts, like a breakup, a move, any of the things I was talking about, it can create a mini identity crisis because you're like, okay, who am I in this new context? Like I have to navigate this new context. And that can be scary. And so to navigate this, I'm really trying to work on my secure attachment style. Because it helps us tolerate change. If we lean into the anxious tendencies or the avoidant tendencies by catastrophizing and overthinking and thinking about the worst case scenarios, or just like pretending it's not happening and resisting it, what is that gonna do? Literally, what is that gonna do? I'm gonna get nowhere. So securely attached means believing that I'll get myself through it and that there's going to be good parts. In every job that must be done, there's an element of fun. Find the fun and snap. The job's a game. Mary Poppins. So the second idea is about detachment. So we've talked about detachment in previous episodes, but when I say detachment, I don't mean like not caring, because I care. I'm a carer about everything. It's more just not placing so much emphasis on the outcome and like really just shifting your focus back to the present and like what can you do now to make your situation better? What can you do now to make you happier? Because that's really the goal. So there's this term used in acceptance and commitment therapy, that's a mouthful, called psychological flexibility, and it's the ability to stay grounded in your values even when circumstances are changing. And if you have your values, you have your spirit, because that's a part of you. And if you can apply your values to all the circumstances in your life, you're going to look back and not have regrets. Things can be hard, but you'll have gotten through them the best you can. You're staying in touch with yourself and just doing your best. If you can look back on a situation, even if it didn't end so well, and you can know that you did your best, that is going to give you a lot more peace. So just staying in touch with what your values are. And if you don't know, talk to Chad. And people who practice detachment are better at regulating their emotions because even in a tough situation, they can sit back and say, I'm not going to feel like this forever. I have felt like this before and I'm going to feel like this again in my life, but it's not going to last forever. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut. But there's this idea in Buddhism of impermanence. And what that means is everything is always in flux. Joy, sense of self, anger, relationships, pain, any emotion is always there and it's always ready to come right back to you. That's why being able to acknowledge what you're feeling and just kind of accepting it, but knowing that something else is going to come, whether that's tomorrow, in a week, in a month, whatever it is, you're not always going to feel this way. I have this sign in my room that says, be where you are. And it's just such a grounding reminder that like, okay, you are where you are. Whether this is going on good or bad, this is where you are. Be here. Find whatever good you can. Do your best through this time. If your best is lying in bed and not yelling at anyone, do that. If your best is stretching, do that. If your best is sitting outside instead of sitting in bed, do that. Just do something that is your best, that is you pushing yourself. And as you make these little changes, like rotting in bed to sitting outside, your brain is going to get used to doing new things because that's such a little thing, but it builds the pathways that, okay, I'm going to switch this up. I'm going to change this up. I'm going to do something different. And that's good for your brain. Your brain will thank you. We always want our brains to be thanking us. Our brains they're powerful tools. Out of all the things, this is my favorite concept, which I haven't focused on so much, but let me tell you, I'm going to now. It's hedonic adaptation. I really hope I'm saying that right. But it's the idea of after good or bad events in our life, we always return to like a baseline. So we think that once we get married or whatever the big goal is, that after that we're going to be so happy for the rest of our lives and we live out this fairy tale. No. Sorry, if you thought that, I'm really sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Not how it works. Same on the flip side. When you go through a breakup and everything is horrible, like of course, couple days you're in a high, you're in a low. But things level back to the way they are. That's just science, we could say. No, but what I'm saying is the brain recalibrates and you get back to your baseline. So even when we think something's going to ruin us, we find a way to bounce back. And like I said about doing the little changes, we're practicing our neuroplasticity. And if we can change this, we can also change this and this and this and all these other negative brain patterns that we have. You can change anything. This is your life. You are you. You make the decisions for you. Don't get it twisted. So some of the takeaways, how we're going to practice letting go and finding peace, how I've been practicing this in my everyday life, and how I'm going to continue to. And I hope you take some things from this as well. So we want to reframe attachment. Rather than looking at something leaving our lives as forever gone, we're going to carry it with us. We're going to learn a lot from this situation, and we're going to carry it forward. This can be something as big as a mindset shift that this person or this situation left you with, or it could be their coffee order that you really like. Like, people impact us. We don't have to downplay that just because they're gone. It's actually better to honor people that have left your life or situations that have left your life because they got you to where you are now. We're also going to practice smaller goodbyes. Get rid of some old clothes. Get rid of some things that are just taking up space that might be hard to get rid of, but it's good to practice. If we can let go of little things, we can learn to let go of big things. And I'm not saying get rid of everything. Of course I'm not saying that. Don't come for me that I'm saying that. I'm not. But this will train your brain for bigger transitions, and we love to train our brains. We also want to ground mindfully. So next time your mind starts racing and your heart starts pumping, take some deep breaths. Put your legs up a wall and just lie there. Do some stretching. Put on some frequencies. Like, do something. Do something. Come on. Break the pattern. Next is self-compassion. Remind yourself it's human to grieve. It's human to feel. Like, when Haley left the podcast, part of me was like, yeah, no, I need to like rebrand, revamp, this and that. But I was also like, oh, this is really sad. Like, end of an era. And I'm allowed to grieve that. And two things can be true at once. I can feel hopeful for the future and excited, but I can also feel sad for what was lost. And I can carry that with me, and that's okay. And that is self-compassion, acknowledging that this is what's going on, and that's okay. Ugh, love it. And lean into impermanence. Whether you're feeling joy or pain right now, it is temporary. So if you're in the joy, really lean into it, really experience it, really feel it fully. And if you're in the pain, I give you the same advice. Go internal, see what is going on inside your head and inside your brain, and work your way back up, one neural pathway at a time, one habit change at a time. You will get there. I hope this episode resonated with you guys. Again, this transitioning into being a solo podcaster is quite something. And I don't know exactly how I'm going to navigate it. And I'm excited and nervous for the journey, which are the same feeling. I'll stop blabbing. But I love you guys a lot.